What up, Hoss?
And what's up, buddy?
Not much. Just sitting here sipping my green tea, dog. My internet's acting funky today. I don't know why.
Got some people joining here. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, dude?
Anthony Trucks is in the building, man. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. I'm over here working away. I had to, no lie, if I was working, if I didn't have my egg timer, I would have missed our meeting. I do that sometimes. I turn off notifications and I just put the egg timer on, and it went off, and I was like, what do I got to do? It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, got back
It's funny, man, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, and I appreciate you hopping in here, man. We're going to go for like maybe 15, 20 minutes, but
cool.
I wanted to talk a little bit, and I think the audience, man, will be able to benefit from this, right? And you just touched on it. You said you got all this stuff going on, right? And then, you know, the timer went off. And listen, I've known you for a few years now, right? I consider you a friend. We've done some business together, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I've always been super impressed, man, is just your ability to be super, super productive, right? You always have a lot going on, but you're always on top of it. And you seem like you're one of the most productive people I've met. So I want the audience to get your perspective on this because I think it's super, super important. So I think a lot of people struggle with it, right? And I know you have this ideology or methodology around something called a prolific executor, right?
Yeah.
So let's start there. So talk to the audience a little bit about that prolific executor, what that means to you, and then we'll go into the three things that make somebody a prolific executor.
I got you. So here,
you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, bro. So first off, this is gonna be good. So I'm in the background right now. You can't see it, but I'm working on some things. I was looking up stats. Every once in a while, I do some research on things, and it's crazy. So if you go from 2010 to 2019, you look at the Bureau, of Labor Bureau Statistics. There's been only 1/3 of small businesses still around. The majority fail within like a decade, right? And then you look at, I went deeper. It's like, okay, why do they fail? And if you look at it, besides having a business that nobody wants, like 58% of the reasons can be tied to execution in some capacity, even from cash flow, missed opportunities. And so like I look at that, and then when I look at it, here's the hard part though. In the world of what we're doing, like speaking, coaching, being a personal brand, like that's even a different small business, right? It's just you. We're not talking about you decided to start, making tea or something. Like you decided to do you. That number's even smaller. The percentage of people is like 40,000 speakers and personal brands worldwide from what this consensus was able to grab. And the far majority, they can't even live full time off what they do. Like they have to diversify. And what this does, it brings in more things. So me and you, we work together, right? So I have a coaching program and coaching businesses, and between the execution of a team that has to do everything from making content to building funnels to integrating with the systems to having a sales conference, all that stuff. That's moving pieces, right? Then I also am a speaker. I was just speaking today for an organization virtually. I just got back from T-Mobile. I'm happy to be wearing a sweatshirt right now.
Hey,
right? So that's I have a whole speaking business. I'm also a dad. I'm also a husband. I'm also a best friend, right? So all these things work. And what I found is the only way that I can get this rolling is because I believe that my execution's at a prolific level, and it can go higher. And it doesn't mean I'm special. I'm just a dude, man. I have a way of doing things. But the truth is, it's not enough to be productive. I like how your life runs. You're productive also, but you got a wife that loves you. The kids know you. It's about having that good gel of I'm building a business. I'm making an impact, but I'm also enjoying the process. And so what I find is the individuals in my life that I'm around that are a higher level and doing things that people want to aspire to, they just are these prolific executors. They do a lot. But what we'll talk about today, happily, it's not as simple as saying, I just got to execute. Honestly, it's when people do that, they're cutting themselves short because they're not aware of the real reason they're not there. It's kind of like saying, oh, well, my gas mileage is bad and I just think I need more gas. No, you got a flat tire, dude. That's what the issue is. But if you don't address the flat tires, you keep on driving and burning your gas up, right?
Yeah.
So when you figure out what those things are, it really opens some space up. And the people I work with figure that out. They build great businesses. They have a lot of joy. They spend time with their families. Like, that's all the fun stuff. So you're happy to talk about it, break it all down. But if someone's here right now, like, I got a dream, I got something I want to get done, but I'm spinning my wheels, like, I got you. We'll cover it today.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. I love it. So, yeah, prolific executor, man. I get that, right? Everybody wants to be great in a lot of different things, right? Family, business,
Yeah.
health, wealth, right? All these different things, right? And what prolific means to me is that you continue to show up, you continue to put out the volume of work, you continue to
Yep.
do the things you want to do. And you're right, it's not enough to just be productive anymore, right? Especially if you want to have
No.
joy. Like for me, the more I'm doing, as long as I'm doing it well, right, and I'm operating at a high level, then I have joy, right?
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot of things and I'm spread too thin and I feel worn down, I'm going to feel like shit, right? So
Yeah.
I know you and I have talked about this, and you think that there's three things that make people a prolific executor, right? So I know we got 125 people in here, man. So I'm just
Hey,
waving to
everybody.
them. If you have any
Hey,
questions for Anthony, man, drop it below, and I'll get it to him. So there's three things, right? I know you talk about mindset, but you go a little bit deeper, right? So
Yeah.
let's go into that first, about like the rewiring of the brain a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll do the first of three, right? So the first of three is people don't master the mental game. And at face value, here's the problem in our world. People go, no, I'm good. My mind's good. I don't need mindset work. And I know there's people watching right now like this guy's I'm off of here. Same mindset. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Pay attention for a second.
Yeah. Hang on. Don't
Yeah. If you look at there's a study done by the National Academy of Science, I believe it was, and what they found was that measuring people have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts per day. Every day, 12 and 60,000 go through our head. Of those thoughts, 85% are negative without us knowing it. And they may not be like really abrasive, but they're not producing the result we want. They're not in the right direction. And of those 85, you have 95% are repetitive, always going on. And so what I found with a lot of people is they're unaware. They're just rolling through the thing. I heard one time this cool statement. The person says, it's hard to see the label when you're inside the jar. I was like, oh, so like whenever I'm looking at my life and I'm trying to get this mental game right, a lot of people think it's just, no, I got to buckle down, work real hard. No, it's, do you see opportunity? Are you tuned for like opposition? Are you tuned for optimism? Are you tuned to see situations where there could be ways, silver linings? When something happens, do you shut down? Do you spike up? There's a lot going on, and you're usually unaware because you're in the jar. You don't even know.
Yeah.
And so when I used to have my gym, the perfect example, I used to have a gym I owned for a lot of years. And what I would find is people would come in, like, how you doing, man? How do you feel? I feel good. I feel great. Okay, cool. Let's get warmed up. Let's loosen the body up. You get loose, body gets loose, and I go, okay, how do you feel now? Man, I feel good, right?
Yeah.
And I realized most of the time, we have no idea how crappy we feel until we feel better.
Yeah, I love that.
So when it comes
to, it's a great analogy.
yeah, dude, when it comes to the mental game, most people don't realize that they're operating in a weak state, like not even like weak, but you're not operating at the peak, and you won't even know really how, like we'll call it not strong you are until you're stronger and go, oh wow, I had more in me, man. And so most people shut down and thought, oh, my mind's good. And it's not the case. I'm not saying anybody's weak or weak-minded, but if you don't think about the fact that there's stuff you don't know, and it's got to be fixed here, you're killing yourself, man. You can't even get started because you don't even, here's the thing, you can't see the big vision. You can't see the goal. You can't see opportunity. You shut yourself down before you even take an opportunity to take off. So, yeah, the mental game is one of the big first pieces people got to work on.
That's crazy, man, that you said those stats, like 80% of people's thoughts are negative, and then 95 of those, 85% is repetitive. So if you can hear what Anthony's saying, basically what he's saying is when he says you can't see the label when you're inside the jar, if you're just continually having negative thoughts and they're repetitive, you're not going to be able to see the big picture. You're not going to be able to have some clarity around what you really want, which goes into our second piece, right, which is you have to have a plan or a roadmap, right? Is that the second
clarity,
piece?
Man. Yeah, dude. That's so. Before we even, like, most people, they jump to, I got a vision. I'm gonna start making a plan, and they don't do the mental part first. So what they do is they have a plan for a goal that doesn't inspire them. They think it's okay. It's kind of okay, but if they miss that mental game part, I'm not even prepared for the next piece. But then people go to the part of clarity and organization again. Open the mind, folks. It's so simple, but it's got to get this. So when I talk to people about clarity, I say, listen, can I ask your best friend exactly what your goal is? And will they tell it to me the exact way you would tell me?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because most people, one, either the goal and vision isn't passionate enough for them to even share, so nobody knows, it's just their own, or it's not clear enough to communicate in a way that somebody else can tell it back to me. Imagine if somebody wants to go and you want to grow your brand, it happens by other individuals going out and sharing the vision, right?
Yeah.
But if I can't tell it to you and have you tell it to somebody else that they can tell it to me the same way, I don't have clarity. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, if I do got a goal or aspiration, for most people, it's not specific enough. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to make some more money. I want to make $1 million. Okay, great. What specific do you think is your goal you need to get done? Mm-hmm. Because most people can't tell you, I need to make this much per month. I got to do this much per week, spend this many hours doing this. I need to make this many phone calls to get there, right? There's no numbers to it. So it's like an arbitrary floaty goal. And if you don't have a goal, you can't plan. And then here comes the kicker, man. This is the one that drives me insane. A lot of people have they'll have some clear goals. But if I asked people right now, show me the next 30 days of your life and what you're doing every day to the hour to get that goal met. Can you show it to me? And I'm telling you, maybe 1% of people can.
I was going to say 99% of people can. To be honest with you, I couldn't even be able to do that.
Most can't.
I've seen your calendar though. I've seen your calendar, and I know you do that to that specificity, which is crazy. But you're right. People talk a lot in generalities, right? And I think if anyone's listening, I think the takeaway is you may have a big goal, but you don't have enough clarity around the specifics to get there, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you don't have that, if you don't have clarity of specifics, you're not motivated towards it. You'll kind of be like, I want to do it, but you'll wake up like you lack motivation. You'll be like, I'm going to get up. I don't want to do it right. Or you're easily distracted in moments where you need to work. You don't execute. You're not prolific because you're easily distracted because I know I got to work on this, but I don't really know why or what's going toward. There's no specifics. And in the plan, like people go, I gotta get this done on Friday. Well, the problem is like you try to work on Friday and you get distracted. It's too much. You get stressed out. I'll do it tomorrow, and it never happens, right? So when I look at people, it's like, look, you got to give me specifics, and it's got to be so clear your friend can tell me. And when it comes to your plan, I need to be able to look at your life for the next 30, 60, or 90 days, and you got to be able to tell me what you're doing. Because if not, you are hoping that somewhere between now and 30 days, you get it done. That's it. Like I hope we get it done by that time. And dude, nobody I know at levels that are far above are quite literally operate at that peak. So like when I do things, I go in and I make it easy for people, to be honest, because to do this is not like you can't jump in the water and it's hard. So I say, give me your goal, whatever you want to get done, clarify it first. Second, what are the pieces of that? Let's pull it apart like an accordion. Open it up. And I get people that I'm like, all right, so if you want to launch a podcast, it's a random example. So as opposed to saying next week I'm going to launch a podcast, say, hey, Monday, I'm going to go into Canva and I'm going to research different types of templates for podcast art. Yeah. On Tuesday, I'm going to get one done. I'm going to go and make a first one. Thursday or Wednesday, I'm going to go and give it to people to see if they like it. I may tweak it, right? Then I'm going to go and I got to do intro and outro. Today, I'm going to write the intro. Done. Tomorrow, I'm going to write the outro for the podcast. Done. I'm going to then go find some intro music on the next day. Just research some. Next day, I'm going to find some outro music, right? Then I'm going to go record the intro, record the outro, add the music, right? Little by little by little, over 2 weeks, podcast is launched and done. Yeah. It's done, right? But most people think, like, I got to do it Friday, and they get to Friday and a list of things to do, and it's like, I just want to watch this new show that came out, and that doesn't get done. I'm not prolifically executing. Yeah. So, like, when you get to that point of having, like, understanding true minutia planning, like, we have something that we call a multi-goal action mapping system. Give me multiple goals, because you can do more than one. Give me multiple goals, map it all out, plug it in. Now we just work every day towards little things, and they turn into big things over time. But again, no mental game, you ain't getting there. No clarity, you can't plan. If you do plan, the next piece comes in, but you got to be able to have that structure from brain to clear idea of what you want to then planning, so now you can possibly go. And I say possibly very specifically.
Yeah. We're going to get that. So I love that, man. So have a clear enough vision so that you could your friend could articulate it back to you, right? And then have 30, 60, 90 days of everything that you do. And that's what you do as a coach, right? That's what you help people do. You help people who say, listen, I have this big goal, but I have no idea how to get there. And you break it down into these, small chunks for them to do every day. You lay a brick every day. Every day. 90 days from here, you have a wall, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. And the thing is sometimes it sounds so simple. They're like, I can do that. And then people don't. Because there's a lot of little moving pieces within that whole process that we have to go and unpack. But it is a matter of saying, like, am I doing the right thing? Because our world nowadays, the problem doesn't lean to what do I do, and it's like, what do I not do?
Yeah.
There's so much to do, but what do I not do? And when you can figure that out, it actually gives space for the world, because not only do I have like a clear, okay, I'm not doing that, I can ignore those things, focus on this, I actually get to have a good life balance. Because the problem is people go home and they have a lot in their head to do at work, and then they go to work and they don't have anything that they know clearly, so they get anxiety, go home and they work on work at home. And then now I'm fighting with my wife or my kids, and I'm not even present because I'm trying to I go back to work and I'm still not clear. It's just this weird negative cycle. But if you can figure out what not to do, then when you're at work, I can focus on what to do without the cloudiness, get it done. I'm happy. I go home. I'm present. Yep. They're happy. I go to work. I'm happy when I work because I'm not fighting with my wife. And now I get a positive cycle. But all these things, this is little stuff you have to work through. But when you get to that, dude, I'm a rhythm guy, which we're talking about. I'm a rhythm guy. I do all my stuff with a cadence, man. My life is tick, 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 tick. And that's how I live my life. But that's not by accident, dude.
Yeah, man, I love it. You're intentional about it. We're going to get into this last piece. Just a couple comments here. Denise Pendexter said, hi, Anthony. She caught you live.
Hey,
RSD Will said, make a decision. Be clear and concise on your vision, and soon the universe will conspire to deliver all that you desire. Mr. AG6 said, goal number 1, mind your business. Yeah, man, everyone should do that. Yeah. Grant's Empire said, love this, thank you. And then it looks like we've got a question here. If someone, let me see if I can pop this up. If someone used to be hardworking, dedicated, and saw no result, so now depressed and can't get myself to do anything. Yeah, so, man. Did I understand? Can you answer that?
Hell yes, I get this. I took a screenshot because Grant, you just helped me out with. It's good. It's good things to weave into my copy. This is part of what I do as a world. So here's the thing. Usually when we work towards something, we come out broken. We don't want to keep doing it, right? If I continue to keep doing a diet with no results, I'm not going to keep doing it. And what we do is a couple things. Either we blame the process or blame ourselves. It is one of those things. It's either myself and not working a process, or I blame the process. And here's I wanted to address both. I can look at the process and I can say the process sucks, and then you can go find a better process. But here's what most of the time people do. They take themselves, plug them into a process, start doing that thing. And at some point, something in that process I'm not in love with. Maybe I don't like the way somebody does something. Maybe I'm asked to do something that's out of my identity. What I do work-wise is identity, right? But if I don't resonate well with it, or I have some apprehension, I don't post that thing, write that thing, create that thing, whatever it is, well, then I don't do it. And then what happens is it doesn't get the right outcome for the process the way it was. But I found, like a lot of people, they'll research 2, 3, 4 different people that do the same thing, business stuff, right? And they'll try to do little segments of each piece, because they'll start this one, I don't feel good here. I'll try this one, I don't feel good here. And then they're like, nothing works, no process works. No. Any plan will work if you work to make it right. And here's what I mean by that. At a certain point, the process that you have, it's going to be a thing where, like, if you follow it to a T, it might work. And I say might specifically. What happens, you're going to find a point where it's not going to be perfect for you. That's how all processes are. It's perfect for the person that made it, because that's that person. But you're going to find some point in there where as you're going down the pathway, you're like, I don't know about this, it ain't working. And a lot of people step away and they get depressed because they have no results. In that moment, I go, what do I have to pull from me to fix it? What duct tape do I got to slap on this bad boy? And I may dig in and say, well, you know what? If I get past this step and I do this, the way they said over and over, the way they said I don't get results, what's another way to approach this? What's another way to track this? And then I can get to the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. But here's the cool thing. Along the journey, Grant, I guarantee you that you will get to a point where you have a success. And you get that dopamine dump of, ooh, I got it done. I feel good, right? And then I operate from an inspirational point and I start making more headway. And here's the thing. You cannot teach experience. The majority of people that are in a space that they're trying to put something in the world, they're hoping it all comes from books and I read this thing and get it all. But I'm telling you, the majority of the learning that we need for the next level of our life comes from staying on the path. I learned so much in that space that I could never get in a book, never get in a course, never get from somebody else. And it's at that moment I get, okay, this is the thing I didn't even realize. So now I keep going down, but I'll later on approach a new process, a new system, a new something. But I got a backpack full of new tools I got because I stayed on the path. And so if you get to that point of like, man, I'm hard working, dedicated, I would take a look at the process, whatever you got. Maybe it's the wrong process. And if not that, I would like a look at self. Where can I step up? And this is the mental game. I can't see when I'm in the jar, man. I can't, if I don't, you know what I'm saying? If I don't know what's going on, I'm not going to all of a sudden just know. So that's why having processes that allow you to get out of your head or let other people show you who you are, you go, oh, that's why I worked so hard and didn't get there. Okay, let me go try this new thing. It creates a new space of hope. But a lot of people get internal because think about it. When you don't do well, you don't want anybody to know. So we tuck away, we get small. We don't even go out to the public. I don't want the world. I don't want to burden you with my problems. No, man. Put it out there to the world. Let the world give you some feedback. Take it, pull the ego aside. You'll find out far more like, oh, okay, that's what I got to do. And it opens up a new space.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Thanks for that question. Yeah. Here goes another one before we get into this last piece. So Kay Kravitz 1 says, how do you implement goals with this specificity, the stuff we talked about earlier on? I've had a hard time getting so granular, right? Yeah. I'm a big picture person, and I've had a hard time getting specific. Any tips on to help with this? Yeah, well, I got a process for this. This is kind of the thing about it, right? And this is normal. So I guess my brain, when I used to play football, we got granular, right? We got a big football play. This guy's going here, this guy's going straight, whatever. We got down to the point where if I was 6 inches in the wrong direction, I could be yelled at. That's how granular football was. And I say that to say my brain just happens to work at this level. But here's what you do. You realize it's not a creative thing. Yes, creatives get big picture. I'm a creative also. But I fall in love with the outcome of my work. And so what I do is say, how do I get there faster? And if I'm trying to get somewhere, the big picture, if I don't know the steps to get there, I'm not clear on it, and I don't have a plan that I can get up inspired to execute on. Mm-hmm. So when you say, how do I get to a granular part and a specificity, you have to rely on a process outside of your head, which means if you go, like I have literally a system that we work through, you plug things in, it spits it all down, but not like in automatic, you do the work, right? But the idea is you go in, and when you do it one time, when you see what you're supposed to look at and see, and then, okay, oh, I can open that, oh, I can open that, you can figure that out. You do it one time, it bursts open a bubble of clarity to do it over and over and over again. Because that's the problem for people is most people have never got granular, never got specific. They just go like, okay, I know I got these big tasks to do. And that's cool. Like here, for example, people want to work out in January, New Year's resolution. Yeah. A lot of people say, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a membership, get started next week. Okay, cool. That's a big picture. I want you to listen how I think through it. I say, okay, great. I want to lose weight. How much weight do I want to lose? I'll actually figure out what's a realistic amount of weight to lose, right? Then I'm going to say, okay, what kind of workouts can I do physically right now that'll get me started, right? You don't want to go and start doing like Muay Thai kickboxing if you can't move, right? Yeah. What type of work? Then what I do is I say, okay, great. Where can I go research places that do this? I'll go spend time. It's part of my time. Go find locations, go visit them, talk to them, right? Mm-hmm. Then I figure, okay, great, I want to go there. If I chose when I choose it. Now I say, okay, what kind of clothes do I need? Dead serious. What kind of clothes must I buy? They're going to get me to be able to have the stuff I need in time. Because sometimes if I don't got clothes, I'm like, I ain't going. I got nothing clean, right? Clothes I want to buy. Then I'm going to say, okay, great. What specific days? Not next week. What day am I going to go? What time am I going to get there? And then I say, half hour before, what must I be blocking out so I can travel there? Half hour after, what am I blocking out so I got a bubble to be able to get there and come back? So I got this thing. And then what I say is, what's my start day, my action day, and who's my accountability partner? Right, so these little things come in, and I take a bigger picture. How specific is that? Just to go start a brand new workout plan?
And the thing is, it sounds like, oh, it's extra work, man. It's mental gymnastics. Yeah, it sounds right, but if your brain's saying, oh, it's mental gymnastics, then you don't have the capacity to have success yet. That's all I'm telling you, right? If you're fighting that little thing I just did, let's be real. That's your jar. You're in the jar. You have this mental capacity that's limited a little bit, so you got to expand it a little bit and go, okay, I get this. Because once you start doing it, it's like, oh, that's easy. I do it with no problem. You throw a thing at me now, I'll break it down for you, right? But then I can say, oh, I now know what to do every day. And if I just get up and do that one thing, forget the rest. I don't need the stress in my brain of the rest. Just that one thing. Now I get traction. Now I'm in momentum. Yep. Now I have fun doing it. I lose weight. I have joy. I feel confident, right? Little by little by little over time.
Yep. She thanked you for that. Kay Kravitz, thank you for that. Rachel saying hello. We got an Anthony Trucks for president right here, man. Next level advice.
Not never. Thank you, Bo.
Yeah. No, but and listen, that's what you help people do as a coach, right? You help them take these big goals and break it down into small chunks and then hold them accountable each day to do that 3 or 4 or 5 things, and then they wake up in 30, 60, or 90 days, and they'd have achieved that big goal, and you've just helped them through your process, man, right?
And the thing is like, all these things we do, I realize that for me, the only way people succeed and have joy and like actually have a great outcome in my programs is completion. So when I build them, I don't build it with information because we have a world full of information. It's overwhelming. Yep. So I take all this thinking, I say, let's refine it down to 5 things you do each day. And then you do those 5 things, if planned properly, it gets to where it's clockwork. And all of a sudden, I'm moving. And now they look back and go, damn, here's 2 things. Not only look at what I've accomplished, man, look how I've become this person. I'm a different dude. I'm a different lady, right? That's what I'm looking for. And that's what people really are looking for. Because once you get to that thing, you actually are gifted the ability to access the problem that really holds the opening to your success. Most people think if I cross this little area here, I'll have success. And most of the time, unfortunately, there's more levels, right? But if you're stuck at this one, you'll never access the next ones. Yep. And if you burn yourself out by getting past the first one, you'll crap out before you go to the next ones. So what I look at is when I'm trying to get you to do these specific things, I'm trying to teach you a new cadence, a new rhythm for your life. So you just do it. So you get the first problem passed, you stay in flow. Next problem passed, you stay in flow. And then it keeps going. After a while, you're so normalized to being this prolific executor that you finally access that big problem, opens the door, and you get in and you feel like you've been there. Like you act like you've been there already, right? It's not one of the laws. Like, no, I earned this. I've been this person for a long time. And that's the space I get people, that cadence, that rhythm, to where they look back and go, I have no idea what I was thinking back then. How did I not already do this?
Become a brand new person. So let's talk about the last piece of the prolific executor. So, and then we're going to wrap this up. So the first piece was mindset. The second piece was you need a clear plan,
organized thing.
Get specific. And the third thing is the discipline, right?
Disgusting discipline, consistency.
All right, man. Go ahead and tell us about this third piece. Everyone's heard about it. We got a couple more minutes, man, and we got to get out of here.
We've been kind of talking about it, but I say disgusting because it's got to unsettle people. Think about it. Gross unsettles you. Disgusting is like, ugh, right? And when I'm around people, like my best friend, when he looks at my calendar, he's like, dude, I don't know how in the world you do that. It makes my stomach twist. And I'm like, that's just my Tuesday, dude. That's just my Tuesday, right? And the thing is because of that, I can get more done in a day than genuinely most people get done in a week. It's just the way that I can tick, and I'm normalized to it. And so when I look at disgusting discipline and consistency, a lot of people, they have this passion to get started. I create stuff and I go, but at some point, they get the shiny object syndrome, go somewhere else. They run into a wall, they shut down. But it's hard to keep running when you're tired. And if you think about like people that run actual races, let's say like a Spartan race or a marathon, the training's fun. Some people never make it to the race day. They make excuses. Some people get there and they go, oh, I'm excited. They start running. The gun goes off. Oh, yeah. Halfway through the race, it's like, why am I doing this? It hurts. It sucks, right? Some people get off. They get off the track. Then some people are running the race and they get into the race. Here's the thing. In the race of our success, for business, for health, the finish line never comes.
Yeah, that's true. I say it all the time.
Right. The only people who win are the ones who love just to run. That's it. When you love to run, you'll find that you may not cross the finish line, but you get to see the mountains and the hills and the birds and the bees and the people and the land and the ocean. You love the journey, right? When you can fall in love with the day and not seek the destination, you'd be surprised how many peaks you accomplish. But it only happens when you have that disgusting level of discipline and consistency to where people go, how do you do it? And you go, I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah,
like
man.
That's that piece. And that right there, that's what I guess the closest you can get to being productive, right? But really it's having a life rhythm, a life cadence where it's not just professional, but it's in your health, it's in your relationships, in your hobbies, in your friendships. When that stuff is all just ticking, that's why, honestly, you look at people who have good income, they look happy all the time because they got into a rhythm to get that income, and they did it because they just love the kind of rhythm. And so, yeah, sure enough, they keep it. It keeps moving. They stay up top. And you're like, well, how do they do it? Here's the last thing I'll leave you with. If I can go at 8 hours a day and not shut down because I can stay disciplined, but you can only go for 4 hours, well, by the end of a year, I got 2 hours on or 2 years on year one. And if 2 years, I got 4 on year two. And the gap keeps opening. Yeah. So you won't catch them unless you get to a level of being a prolific executor like they are, and you figure it out. And you got to put a system in. When you do it, dude, it turns over. Like all of a sudden people spike up and they shoot to levels of productivity and execution and joy along with it. that they've never experienced before.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. Everybody's loving it. That's deep. Love it. True. Set super specific plans, man. You obviously everybody's resonating with it. That's another thing that's always impressed me about you, man, is everybody resonates with the message. So if somebody wants to learn more about becoming a prolific executor or getting some coaching, where can they find you, man?
Just go to yourlifeelevated.com. YOURLIFEELVATED. ELEVATED.
Yourlifeelevated.com, man. So Anthony, I always appreciate you, man. I got to bounce out of here, but thanks so much for coming in and dropping fire. Everybody's loving it. I'm going to keep this up, obviously, and people will be able to access it. Yourlifeelevated.com if you want to learn more. Anthony, thanks everybody for joining. Have a great day.
Take care.